equipment has come a long way since this old fire engine was put into use. And so has the role of the fire department in North Lincoln County. Hi, I'm Katrina Poole, curator for the North Lincoln County Historical Museum. These days, firefighters don't just get called to put out fires or get cats out of trees. Today, emergency service includes quick medical response, water rescue, rope rescue, handling hazardous material spills, and of course, fire suppression and safety education. But one thing that has not changed in North Lincoln County is that it is all done by dedicated volunteers. This long history of volunteerism started in the late 1930s, with TND formed in 1938 and Devil's Lake Fire Department in 1939. To help us share some of these earlier times is Irene Thomas.
Hi, Katrina.
Hi. What do you have here?
Katrina, besides the old equipment that you're talking about, I also have a book of the 1939 and forward of Devil's Lake Fire District's minutes and log.
Oh, how interesting. I'd love to see this. 1939 at the water office.
The water office is what they call the old station, which was by Copeland Lumber in the northwest part of town.
Okay. I'm most familiar with the building in Taft, which was built by volunteers in 1941. I believe it was the first fire hall in the Taft area. And it was really intriguing how they had a building bee. They used volunteers for the labor and also materials donated by the area to construct it. Oh, look at this entry. It has something about the secretary's salary being only 54 cents.
Actually, I did a little research on that. It's a bit better. It's $60 a year. Some things never change.
Well, one really big change in 1997 was the merging of TND and Devil's Lake Fire Departments.
That's right, Katrina. After decades of discussion regarding that, the merger finally did occur to form North Lincoln Fire and Rescue District Number 1. Now it consists of 56 dedicated volunteers, and they responded to 1,036 alarms this year, which consisted of fire calls and motor vehicle accidents and water rescues, and not one cat in a tree.
Well, with the merging, also merged the duties of the chief.
This has been a very historic year for both fire districts. The fire department is something that that people take ownership in. The volunteers that serve, the volunteers that served in the past, the honoraries, because it is what the membership makes it. So rightfully so, they take much ownership. Volunteers do what most people will not do. They run into burning buildings that other people are running out of, and they do it just because they want to serve their community. And being able to work with people like that is a real pleasure, and I take great pride in it. I have a tremendous amount of gratitude and appreciation for the service they give the fire district and that they're giving to their community. I feel that this district has got a very bright future for its community and for its members.
So what makes a person want to volunteer to be a member with North Lincoln Fire and Rescue?
Before, when I was little, I just saw, red trucks went by and the fire was out, and that's it. But that's not always the case. So, as for to say why I really became a volunteer firefighter, I don't know. The few, the proud, the insane. I don't know.
1976, I needed a first aid card for my work. I was coaching football at the school, and the class was being offered at the fire hall in Taft, and I went over there to take the class, and on one of the breaks I was out looking at the trucks, and the instructor, who was a former fireman, asked me if I was interested, and I said, sure, why not? And he set me up with the chief to come down the following Wednesday night, and I got there about 7:30, and 20 minutes later I was on the back of a truck heading down the road, and I've been there ever since.
Well, I felt like I wanted to give something back to the community. It was something that I could do that I enjoyed. I've always had the interest in the fire science programs and went to school in Salem for a while, and so I thought it'd be interesting work, and that's pretty much why I wanted to do it.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I enjoy helping people, assisting others, pretty good training, that sort of thing.
Started off as a kind of a family thing. My grandfather was a volunteer for the city of Dallas for over 30 years, and my father was also a volunteer over there, and he put in 27 years before he stepped down over there. So I decided to kind of keep it in the family, and that's where I got started. And I put in a couple of years over at Dallas before I moved over here to work on the medic, and I just decided to be a volunteer over here and been doing it ever since.
Sounded really interesting, and so far so good. I've enjoyed it ever since. And it's been 5 wonderful years.
I became a volunteer to help the community, help the people. It's fun. It's an adrenaline rush.
I became a volunteer firefighter because I was a professional firefighter to begin with, and I like it, and I love being a volunteer, and it's a continuing educational process. It's never ending, and it's great. I love it.
Now, with volunteering to run into burning buildings, you might think that these firefighters might be a little burnt out, yet they keep volunteering. To pass the boot for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, to make appearances as Sparky, the fire pup, to pass out food baskets with the Elks Club, and to also provide appearances as Santa for North Lincoln County's children. Being a coastal community, the fire district doesn't just end at the water's edge. That's why some of our volunteers don't only fight flames, but also waves as members of the water rescue team.
I like helping people. I like the experience of it.
Every time you go out and you make a rescue, it makes you feel good. Plus, just the general knowledge of it.
And many times the fire service gets called to do other things besides fire department work, actually putting out fires. This is a case where we're a coastal community, so we're called upon to do quick response water rescue and working in conjunction with the Coast Guard and neighboring fire districts and other rescue agencies. So our team are all firefighters, and they do their training for their water rescue above and beyond what they have to do on their normal training to be a firefighter. There's a lot of enjoyment in it, but it takes a lot of commitment on their part also. This vehicle behind me is a 1971 Gamma Goat. It was used by the military for personnel and ambulances and other transports and in off-road situations, and have done some modifications of it to use it here on the beach for water rescue purposes.
One of our reasons why we've switched over to our basic wave ventures is for the fact that they got more power. As far as using this and the old system that we've had in the past, we've found that this has been the best working system that we've come up with so far.
What they do is we have a rescuer and we have an operator of the ski. They'll go out and they'll take the victim and they'll roll them onto that board and secure them on the board, and then they'll bring them in that manner there. Now, under normal conditions where this is a rescue, we have a medical team that's waiting on the beach for when these crews come up. They can immediately transfer them to medical, and we can get them transported to the nearest medical facility. Because water rescue duty is over and above what firefighting duties are, it takes a much higher level of commitment, an additional level of commitment, and training.
One thing that keeps this crew ever ready is the training. And that means lots of practice, practice, practice.
This particular building it's had 3 fires in it in the last 3 years, and the last fire basically gutted the upstairs, and they couldn't really salvage it, so they donated the building to the fire district to get some practical experience out of it. The trucks are staged as the hydrants, so we have constant water flow to all of our hose lines. Each truck has taken a separate water supply, and we'll have one attack line and one backup line coming off of each truck. This ensures the safety of the firefighters inside during the burn. If one truck should fail, the other truck will actually have water, and the guys that are inside won't get burned up. On scene, we'd like to have an on-scene incident commander, an on-scene safety officer. We have a lead instructor. Then each of the crews have an instructor with them. We have a medical person. Ambulance is usually here just for the little unforeseen things that you have. And then we have backup crews that go out on actual calls. They're staged here also. And they're also staged if we have a bigger problem than we anticipate, they can actually jump in and help.
I've been in practice burn in the smokehouse and firehouse before, but this was like my first real entry burn. I have my fire basic, not basic certified yet, but I got to take off my sticker off the helmet, so that was real good. Flex, is that warm? One more. Get the doorway. Okay. it's been an overall really good drill.
I think it went well. I think it went well.
The city is very grateful, and I, as mayor, would like to commend each and every one of them for everything they're doing and have done. And some have done it for years, and the new people, they're always getting new people in, and it's just a wonderful benefit for the whole community. I would just like to thank them again. We really appreciate it. We just don't say often enough. Fortunately, most of us don't have to actually call them, but we know they're there, and it is very comforting to know that we're protected. If the emergency ever does come, we're prepared.
1997 was truly a year to remember, and from where I sit, North Lincoln County will be in good hands for years to come. Thank you, volunteers and staff of North Lincoln Fire and Rescue District Number 1. Maybe I'll even volunteer.